What's good, everyone? Welcome inside Bucks Film Room. I'm Brian Sampson. You can find me on Twitter at Bucks Film Room. Today, we're going to go ahead and take a look at Khris Middleton's All-Star snubbing and figure out, was he really snubbed, or were there other players that were more deserving? So on Tuesday night, the Eastern Conference All-Star reserves were announced, and there are a number of notable players missing from that list, including Adebayo, Butler, Sabonis, and, of course, our guy, Khris Middleton. And for the first time in 3 years, Middleton won't be on the team. So let's take a look at who did make the All-Star roster. You can see here for the Eastern Conference reserves that Jaylen Brown, James Harden, and LaVine brought up the guard spots, with Randall, Simmons, Tatum, and Vucevic bringing up the forward spots. All those players had a strong case to be made. However, as Bucks fans, it's a little disappointing that Middleton, in what's perhaps his best season as a pro, he wasn't able to make the All-Star game for the first time in 3 years. Middleton's scoring is down a tick from last year, but the sweet-footed forward is really having a good season from all over the place, including improving his game in the pick and roll and creating a lot more shots than ever before for his teammates. He's really, impressed on voters that he's taken maybe another step forward this year. However, one thing that I think may be on the minds of voters is his down couple of weeks that he's had. He's really struggled in these last couple of weeks. Here's his game log, and he's really, this was probably fresh on voters' minds as they were submitting their ballots because he really struggled big time. Let's take a look here at how he compares to the other guys who made the roster. So you can see Middleton is at the top of this chart, with the other four forwards who were announced on Tuesday bringing up the bottom four spots. Middleton averages slightly fewer minutes per game and averages the second fewest points among these candidates, only ahead of Ben Simmons, and the fewest rebounds. However, he makes up for that with assists, averaging more assists than everyone besides Simmons, and his effective field goal percentage, which combines 3-point and 2-point percentages and combines them into a formula. He really is the most efficient shooter there among all of these candidates. One area that I did notice is in years past, I think that team record really would be a tiebreaker or would maybe sway more in the favor of Khris Middleton or a guy like Khris Middleton. However, that's not necessarily the case this year, as Middleton and the Bucks and their 19-13 record, he didn't get in. Well, guys like on the Magic with their 13-19, the Knicks below 500, the Celtics got two guys in and they're below 500. Obviously, Ben Simmons is exempt from this talking point. However, it seemed that they definitely picked individual accolades over team accolades for this year's All-Star voting. So let's take a look to find out what Khris Middleton had to say after Tuesday night's game about not being elected into the All-Star game for a third straight season.
I'm a little disappointed, I'm not going to lie, but definitely want to, just say congrats to all those guys that, did make it, especially the first-timers. I've been in their position, where, people say what they want to say, but congrats to those guys that definitely deserve to be there. Nobody should take that away from them.
I definitely agree with what Middleton is saying, is that nobody should take anything away from those guys who made the game. They definitely are deserving. They're having great seasons, and there are even really good players that were left off their All-Star roster altogether. We named some of those forwards earlier, but someone like Trae Young, who was a starter in last year's All-Star game, didn't even make this year's roster so far. And I really think that's a testament to the depth of the Eastern Conference and how, even if the team records aren't portraying that at this moment, but just all the talent that's kind of come over in recent years. Obviously, the Nets are a big reason for that, with the acquisitions of Kevin Durant and James Harden from the Western Conference. And so I think that's really a testament to the depth of the Eastern Conference players at this point. As far as Middleton goes, I would have loved for him to be in this game, and I still would love for him to make it. And so I really think that it's okay to say both things are true. Number one, that Khris Middleton was deserving of an All-Star spot, and the other guys who made it are also deserving, and we can just leave it at that. I agree with what Middleton said. We can celebrate what they are saying and say that Middleton was deserving as well. Well, thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Bucks Film Room. I hope you all enjoyed it. Feel free to leave comments and feedback below or wherever you can, and I'll catch you next time.